Hi and welcome again. It's end of September, which means it's the beginning of the winter growing season, and this is the time for the winter crops. So behind me you can see very nice flat and done garden. Yesterday our best ever neighbor Petros came over to move the soil, plow the soil. I am not sure what's the word in English. So we have a lot of things I've grown from seeds. We have some things I took ready because the seeds were not good. I also happen to have one assistant. You don't want to be in the camera? No, I just want to sit on me? Okay. So, bishkot ready, chapa ready. What's the word in English? Hoe. So the hoe is ready, the cat is ready. Kinda ready. Let's go and plant the stuff. Okay, after making just 2 rows, I am absolutely exhausted. I made them quite close to each other, and the plan is that I'm gonna put plants that they don't need so much space apart there. So, namely, that's gonna be, after I fish one out, it's gonna be those guys. Maybe you remember from the previous videos, this is the daikon radish, the Japanese radish, which grows, well, big. But even though it grows big, it does not need so much space in between the plants for the leaves. That's why the 2 rows I made, I planned for those guys, and what? And yeah, that should do. That should be enough. The other rows I plan to make with more spacing for cabbages, for example, which do grow very big, right? The whole heads of cabbage are quite huge, so they will need more space. Those guys, they will be fine. I did the 3rd row. Once again, I am absolutely exhausted. This is not the lightest job. So when you are an office worker and then you go in the garden, every single time you get absolutely shocked how hard the job is and the physical job in general. So I think it's time for a little break. In the 3rd row I will plant, what I will plant? I think cabbages. It's a long row. I think I can easily squeeze 10 or 15 cabbages in there. We have 3 varieties. We have dark cabbages, like the purple ones. We have classic cabbage, and also I have something special, which is the Chinese cabbage. Meow.
It's yours, they stink. Yes.
Right next to the freshly planted shit.
Yes, exactly.
And this is exactly why my plants die. Okay. Okay. Uh, the garden is ready. As you can see, the plants look kind of big. This is because after I planted them, we had a little bit of rain, and this is how it looks now. They look very healthy after the rain. I'm very, very happy about that. So let me show you how they look. What we have over here, this is a Chinese cabbage, and those little guys, they literally grow in the eyes so fast, and they're looking decent. A little bit eaten by some little bugs, but doesn't matter. Grows well. And the same story goes for everything else in the garden. So all of the broccoli, what else we have? Broccoli, cabbages, the white broccoli, the white broccoli, how it's called? Cauliflower. Yeah. So cauliflowers, broccoli, all the bok choy, all of the round balls called hulia that I don't remember how they are called. Everything is doing great at the moment. Even the seeds that I put those few days ago when I was making a previous video, they started sprouting. So let me take you to the seeds now. Alright, here I am. You can see the line of green thing behind me, and those are the radishes, and oh, they do great. Generally radishes are the crop that grows fast. You don't need to worry. I've put two types of radish. One is the short classic radish, and the second one will be the long radish that looks like a pink carrot, and this one is very, very efficient. Very efficient. You take one radish and it's enough for the whole bowl of salad. The other things I put, we have some beetroots, and the leaf beetroots, the Swiss chards. They started getting, but they are too small to show you yet, so next time. And the carrots started sprouting. Let's go there. This is the carrot part. It does not look like much, but the tiny carrot sprouts started showing, and if you are having trouble growing carrots, the thing is they cannot get dry. The seeds cannot get dry. They have to stay wet to sprout. If they get dry for even one day, they will not sprout, they will not grow. So what I did was covering them with old carton boxes, which you can still see over there. So in the spots where the carrot seeds did not yet sprout, I left the carton boxes so they can stay nice and humid over there. That's it. You can see over here that the herbs are getting nuts again. So I trimmed them a few days ago. I trimmed them, and this helps them grow bigger and bigger. Similar idea as in with basil. If you cut on the third set of leaves, it starts growing more and more bushy. And you can see behind me that those kinda trimmed well plants are now back to their big state, even bigger than they were. So next harvest coming soon. Behind me you can see the loofah pumpkins, so the pumpkins that you use for the sponges, and those guys are doing quite well actually. They grow in sand. It's the same texture of the sand you find on the beach, right? Because we are very close to the sea, this is kind of beach here. However, I think that they are growing so well due to all of the leaves that fall from the olive trees. Generally olive trees are evergreens, so they just stay green, but they do drop some leaves sometimes. Those leaves decompose and get mixed with the soil, and I think this is why those pumpkins are doing so well. Some of them are really huge, so let me show you. Here is my biggest pumpkin. It is about this size, right? Nice. It is very thick, it is very fat, it is not very heavy though. You can see that it is kinda yellow, it starts getting yellow, and this means that it's slowly getting ready for harvesting and that there is actual pumpkin forming in there. The fresher ones are more green. Let me show you if I have a greener one. Nah. So yeah, the fresh ones that are not ready will not be yellow, and you can also see that the stems are turning black. Once they turn black, all the water stops getting in your pumpkin and then it slowly dries out, and then you can use it. So you can see on this one over here, right? The stem turns black. It will soon be ready to turn into a useful item. Do we have any green ones here? Oh, here. Let's zoom on the green one. You can see the difference, right? There are two pumpkins over here. They are green, the small ones are more green. And then compare it with the yellow one. The color is different, so it means soon. Wanted to show you the sunset behind me, but I'm too late, so instead let's look at the mountains and the beautiful clouds rolling over them.